Thank you, Sanjay Puri, Team Dialogue, and Kusha7 for inviting us. I think for us, nothing begins with us. This is the brief drives our practice and has led us to realize everything already exists around us. Uh, we simply need to listen. I think that's what we believe in. We have to connect, engage, dialogue with the people, history, and a landscape, and also with our own belief. With this, architecture is for us is a spiritual journey. Synergy, I think synergy is just not about the idea matching. It's about the idea belonging together. For us, there are two types of synergy what we are thinking about: internal synergy and external synergy. The internal synergy is dialogue between our philosophy and our surrounding. External synergy is about collaborating with the different forms. I think with this, our first project, which we would like to present, House on Pipes. This is in Bangalore. It's a 2-acre property and a little outskirts of Bangalore. The first site visit, I think, gave us a lot more idea about what we wanted to do in this project. Light filtering through the coconut tree and casting soft, translucent glow was beautiful insight. That stuck in our mind, and we are trying to recreate that with a simple idea of that. And because of that, I think we lifted the whole bottom portion of it, and coconut tree or any tree, which gives kind of an idea about how minimal contact has to be there for the Mother Earth. So how do we do that? So with this context, I think we started developing structure. This is where you enter from the northern side, and it's a two-bedroom small farmhouse. And the Kalyani or the step well is on the northern side, and the last one where we renovated the existing structure. This is how the plan looks. It's very small, 2-bedroom on either side. Center is the living room and a pantry space, and the eastern part of it where we have space to sit. The whole idea here was to make sure how transparent or how easily you can build in this entire thing, which gives some kind of an idea about you see through the entire farmhouse. So that was the main intent of it. And then we also worked out our own wall system. The external layer is fly ash block, which is put it such a way that it reduces the total load of it, and it also creates a shadow pattern to each other. So it reduces the heat volume further. And for these to insert, we just taken just 4 mm thin rods and then placed it alternatively, and backside is a metal sheet and insulation, and then the internal part of it is cement boards. So we've used very simple materials to do this. We chose the color black. I think it merges with the entire landscape, and then it also creates a lot more shadow feel to that monochrome. Yeah, that's the small reflecting pond with that entire area, and it feels like it's floating because of the 3-inch MS pipe. The whole structure is placed on 3-inch small MS pipes, which is on top of it, like the whole building sits, and also from how the tree kind of merges through that, and all trees is part of the program. I think in most of our practice, trees are kept in either it's inside or part of it, and it shows. And we also consciously made sure structural element is part of the we didn't want it to hide the structure element at all. So we wanted to express it in a right way, and it also becomes part of it. And cement board, I think it's a great material to give you I think this is the first impression what we had, when we went to the site, how we visualized through this sunlight passing through that, and we tried to recreate. Lighting design for this building was a challenging thing. This is how it just merges through the entire property. Yeah, I think we took there's a South Indian temple, how they light this, it's called Deepotsav. Through that we just started lighting the entire thing in subtle way, so it doesn't overheard about the lighting or overboard of it. I think at this point of time, my client called and told, your house is appreciated from outside. I always sit outside, and this started another project. We did it in the same property called, and a lot of people started coming and partying. So he said, I want a little quiet space now, small guest house. So how do we do it in this? So we started another project. It's called Naked House, collaborated with the Studio Gravitas. This project is interesting because he came up with, I think, after all these landscaping and everything we did, he said, I don't have a budget, almost like a nil. So he wanted a project which is very less cost. So I think because of this, we have to came out of our comfort zone to use a material which is naked in form, or no lipstick work, or it just represent in a pure form. I think that's the first part of the thing which we started with. This is the site, house on pipes in the right-hand side, the naked house at the end of the property. It's an under construction project now. Yeah, here there's totally 7 rooms are there, ground floor 4 rooms, and upper floor 3 rooms are there. We have made these boxes such a way that it's in a staggered. So it's like a village. If you go to the village, they all staggered patterns are there, which creates some kind of an enclosure, or it creates a narrow lane in between these area for the negative or the incidental spaces to sit around. And we also added a perforated wall, or the jali wall, around this thing to get the shaded area for that. It's a very simple in design, and the brick was the, I think, only option we had because of the it's locally available, and it's easy to make for the people. So we use that. These are some of the sketches or graphics, how the spaces. Yeah, these are the construction image. Right now what's happening. So how the latent shadow effects on these brick, and work with local mason, their quality of work, and how the tree becomes part of it. Yeah, that's how light and shadow effects are there. In a couple of months, I think it will just get completed. Yeah, how we celebrate the tree, part of the program. Yeah, this is. Yeah, another project which we were collaborated with, Studio Gravitas is the Durga project. I think this is our one of the favorite project now. This located in Chitradurga. It's got a history, and it's inspired by the client wish, a place to be encouraged in the spiritual living. He wanted a farmhouse to be encouraged in the spiritual living kind of thing. The design begins with an attempt to capture the spirit of the place itself, Chitradurga, architectural and territorial legacy of the Durga, and certain reclaimed elevated ground to take advantages of the surrounding views. The house becomes a defined territory within the landscape. I think with this kind of a thing, we started understanding how the local material are the very age-old method of construction, how they used to do it. First, the initial part of the brick, stone, and masonry work. Actually, it's a gare, or the plastering work, how they used to work with that. I think from there, this is, we took a inspiration from there, structure, support, and shelter. These are mantap kind of thing. Program becomes the substructure, and then shelter, and this is, yeah, this is how we are carving out the ground floor plan and first floor plan of it. Yeah, this is how it looks now, the images, some of the images. That's the temple pillar, and this is where you enter through this property. Yeah, that's the living room. Yeah, I think Twin House is I'll just take you through the images of it. This is in Nandi Hills quarry site. We took the quarry, we are trying to quarry it out of it. 2 brothers stays together here. I'm just take you, yeah, how these, the spaces we are trying to carve out of it, and the negative of it, the other house, which takes you through this. Yeah, to ground floor plan first. Yeah, that's, I think, the image, what it gives you an idea about that. yeah, some of the construction. Yeah, sure. Thank you.